All right, welcome to the Good Rookies podcast. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all, and we are Good Rookies.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday to you all. And folks, it's episode 40.
Bam, bam, bam. 40.
40.
Mm.
So, guys, we have an amazing guest. If you're watching him right now, you don't know who he is, yo, you better get familiar, okay? Faheem, please introduce who we got.
That's right. We got an OG, definitely a trailblazer in regards to Canadian basketball content. We have founder and CEO of Onpoint Basketball and media content and scout director for Show Improve. Let's welcome Drew Ebanks to the podcast today.
Drew.
Thank you very much.
Drew.
Wow, what an intro.
That's
amazing.
Hey, that's right. We got to make it sweet for you, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. A little tired. I've got it seems like 12, 15 projects going at the same time. And I'm just like, why do I keep taking more on? But you know what? This is kind of what I've dreamt of doing, and we're trying to take things to the next level. So I never complain. As much as I don't get enough sleep, I never complain.
Trust me, I'm also in #no sleep world, so I totally get what you're talking about. No, but Drew, like, you're definitely a trailblazer. We're gonna highlight you more for the culture. But I have a question for you that might stump you a little bit, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The question for you is this, okay? On the spot, Drew, because you're in a, right? Is Masai coming back? Is Masai coming back to the Raptors, sir? What do you think?
I have been telling everybody he is coming back.
Ooh,
I have some knowledge of that, kind of an insider. So some of my close connects have let me know that he is coming back, and I have a good feeling about it. So you heard it right here first from On Point that Masai Ujiri is coming back to the Toronto Raptors. Where else would he go? Where would he want to go? Come on. Best thing in the world. Come on.
That's
he
right.
said what he said, y'all. And also, just to add, because as a leader, I read an article that you were quoted in, and you mentioned that you think in the next 5 years that there's going to be 40 Canadians actively playing in the NBA. Right now, we're at 17. Why do you think we're going to increase so much in the next 5 years?
Well, there's a lot of factors, obviously, the growth of the game, the interest in the game. Toronto Raptors are a little bit down right now, but the fans haven't gone anywhere. They hope to retool, so you still have people paying attention that way. And then you have the growth of coaching. You have a lot of private facilities right now going up in the GTA, which is incredible. I mean, since the pandemic, there's probably been double digits in facilities that are going up. Specifically, the playground group, they're building facilities all over, from Burlington to Oshawa to Peterborough to Vaughan to Woodbridge, Brampton, and they're going across the country apparently, and there's other companies, independent companies, that are opening up facilities as well. Even some friends of mine have opened up, even one court facilities are just great, because you give kids the opportunity to get in the gym. I remember when we were coming up, we had to sneak in gyms to get the runs. Now they got these private facilities are just like, they're like the NBA, like they're decked out, they're all high tech. And so the growth is going, like I said, the coaching is increasing, the talent pool, the fact that the kids think they can make it. They see guys like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jamal Murray getting it done. And the ladies see Kia Nurse, of course, Natalie Achonwa, Bridget Carlton, and there's more. And we'll see, I think, more women in the WNBA, because this next crop, like an Aaliyah Edwards playing at UConn, you're going to see her in the WNBA. You'll probably see her former teammates, Latasha Lattimore and Cheyenne Day Wilson, in the NBA, the WNBA at one point. So the growth, the potential for the sport is amazing. And remember, there's not a lot of funding in basketball right now. When you look at the funding, corporate funding, from marketing, from companies and sponsorship, it's very minimal. Imagine if we can bump that up. and eat out a little bit from the hockey budgets that these companies
or
put in.
curling. Curling is big too, man.
Curling's
Curling
got a
budget
big
is huge.
budget.
Yeah.
Big. I like it. I actually watch it sometimes, especially in the Olympics.
Yeah,
never
Olympics
thought
is
I
would.
Yeah, it's really dope. I like it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
ice bowling is pretty cool.
Ice bowling? I can't with you. I can't.
Oh my goodness.
So we're definitely getting into a lot more in regards to your Onpoint. Just you being, pretty much like I said, an originator in regards to content. I have a question for you in regards to. We'll get to it later. But first, let's just start this off with the 2021 Hall of Fame NBA class.
Yeah.
Even this past year was pretty big with Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett highlighting.
Yeah,
huge. But the class of 2021, it's very interesting. So I think we should discuss this really quickly. It's being headlined by Chris Bosh, Paul Pierce.
Wow.
Yes, just
big.
Right,
Paul
big.
Pierce.
Also, we got
Chris
Bill
Webber.
Russell. Oh, okay. Chris Webber.
Yeah.
We got Ben Wallace. So we'll start with those. We'll get to Bill Russell just after because he's going into the coach. But in regards to those four, anything stick out or anything you guys want to mention about those four that with Thornell?
I mean, like you talk about 2020 class being heavyweights, obviously Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, those three alone, Rudy Tomjanovich, incredible. This class right here is not very much behind, guys, as far as the star power. Obviously, being in Toronto, we're very familiar with Chris Bosh, two-time NBA champion, multiple All-Star, All-NBA. Unfortunately, his career had to come to a close due to pulmonary embolism. And it's funny, it's not funny, but I mentioned that, but I actually had that condition as well back in 2000. Same with Serena Williams. And it's just basically a propensity for your blood to clot. And that's what happened to me. So I have a special affinity for Chris Bosh, and, just because I went through the same thing, and I know, how hard that must have been to have to stop what you love to do. Luckily for Serena, she's able to continue on her path as the GOAT in tennis. Men or women, in my opinion, she is the GOAT.
Right.
You add in Paul Pierce, and you add in Ben Wallace. I mean, Ben Wallace,
that's my dude.
If you love defense, you gotta love what he brought to the table.
That's my dude.
He is the man. He is the man. And, if you're not on his team, my goodness, could you imagine going up against that guy? I mean, the intimidation factor alone.
And his big afro, y'all. Like the afro, he's an epic person, because he was someone that was like, yo, I don't got to be the best scorer, but I will impact and I'll make your team better by having me on there. He's like a Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that player that doesn't really get all the star power, but he was so important. He won first team defensive player how many times?
4 times.
4 times. Yeah. Like what? And the point of the year how many times? Like he was a defensive beast. So he was a huge one. But this class is very impressive. Paul Pierce, he's won titles. Chris Bosh,
Paul Pierce,
won titles.
Yes. Paul Pierce, that's interesting, right? Look what just happened to Paul Pierce.
Hello. Hello.
Wow.
You know what? I'm wondering if ESPN will actually hire him back. Because but guys, ESPN loves clout, right? So who knows, right? Who knows?
And controversy.
Yes, but having him on this ballot, Faheem, will give him more notoriety for the next year, right? He'll be at events. He'll be talking to basketball influencers and people with money. I think Paul Pierce might come back in the media light. Maybe not at ESPN, like you said, but somewhere. I really believe it will happen.
Well, I think I think I saw him post a picture of him in the cannabis business.
Right.
That's not right. I saw him in front of a whole warehouse or something. So you know what? It's amazing to see a lot of the athletes now either investing in media companies, like KD, 35 Ventures, Steph Curry, Drake, the OVO fund. And then you see some of them investing. I think it was what's the guy that played for Indiana, the young guy back in the day? He's invested. I forgot his name. He invested in the cannabis industry as well. And so
Al Harrington.
Al Harrington, there you go. And so, you know, it's great to see that they're not only relying on their salaries and what they've made, they're actually thinking generational wealth and to make sure they don't even have to touch their NBA salaries.
Right.
Very
So
smart.
when I heard this Hall of Fame listing, I'll be honest, Ben Wallace, my first gut reaction, as much as I rate Ben Wallace, I have nothing bad to say. But when I seen his name, I was just like, huh? And immediately I went to my phone and checked this. I had to double check on the stats and the credentials and the accolades just to see exactly where we're at. And I went through, like Nelly J, you said, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-Star, 3-time all NBA second team. He's led the league in blocks. He led the league in rebound twice.
Yep.
And what was he? 6'8"? Was he 6? I don't even know if he was 6'9". I'm not even sure.
Yeah, they listed at 6'9". Listed at 6'9", so kind of maybe an undersized center. But yeah, Ben Wallace, I actually think that he might be the lowest points of any Hall of Fame.
What did he average?
How about Rodman though? How about Rodman? I think less than him though.
We could check that very quickly. But
how much was Ben on scoring?
Take a guess.
7.6.
Nelly J, what do you say?
I think it was lower than that. I think he averaged like maybe 3.
5.7.
Oh boy.
I'm not surprised because he wasn't hired for that. He wasn't hired for that. So yeah, you're right, because I just Googled. So Dennis Rodman averaged 7.3. So just two bit more. Yeah, 2 points more. Both pretty low, but
yeah. Wow. Yeah. So shout out to Ben Wallace. And it's good to see. And it's funny when we talk about greats, it always has to do with the offensive end. Always. We love the scorers. We love the passers. Defensive guys, I mean, strictly defensive guys don't get this kind of love. So see him in a Hall of Fame. Salute to Ben Wallace, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Chris Webber is the next one. Webber's another one that I thought I was surprised he wasn't in there before when I found out.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was already inducted. I'm like, oh, this guy hasn't been inducted yet? Like, he's been out the league how many years now? Like, I was shocked.
Drew, what do you think of Webber?
I mean, I think he's had a pretty solid career. I mean, I don't know all his numbers career-wise. You probably have him there. It's funny how, again, he's in the news too for, being let go off of the broadcasting side of things as well. And so, I wasn't a huge, I wasn't a huge, I mean, he's better than Reggie Miller, put it that way, but I wasn't a huge Weber fan. Yeah. Reggie, eh?
Yo, Reggie? He's very, very biased. You can tell who he likes when they play. Who he likes.
What are C-Web's numbers, his career? What do you got there for him? Because I mean, he's up there. Obviously, he came close to getting by the Lakers as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. So on his career, C-Web's numbers are. Just give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm thinking 20. I'm thinking 23 a game, maybe
for his career.
9.8 rebounds.
Wow. Okay. Nelly J, what do you say?
Weber. No, I would say 20 career average.
20. Okay. 20? What about
average boards? I would say maybe like 8 or 7.
Wow.
And he's got good assists, I think, too.
Right.
Probably high assists, I think. I think he's high assists. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So on his career, 20 points.
Oh, 20. I was on the ball.
20.7 and 9.8 boards. So 10 boards.
Hey, I got the boards.
You got the boards. I got the points.
And you mentioned his passing. His passing is at 4.2. So for a big man,
that's really high. Yeah. I mean, Draymond has those high passes too. Like, he's a good assist. He's averages a lot of assists, Draymond.
Except he's kind of missing on the points.
Yeah, like most. But hey,
he'll be a Hall of Famer. He'll be a Hall of Famer.
But you know what? Like, quick question on the Raptors. Like, who's our Dennis Wallace? Like, who's our Dennis Rodman? Like, we don't have a big man that
right now. Or are you talking about for the franchise?
No, right now. Do we have one of those guys right now? I think every team needs that. I feel like every team needs that like hungry board man. Like, give me all, give me all the boards. So anyway.
So in recent memory, I'm thinking Bismack Biyombo might have fit the bill.
Bismack.
Maybe Reggie Evans might have fit the bill.
Right. Yeah, not a lot of guys like grimy guys like that.
So Messiah and Bobby Webster, get us a Grammy man, okay? Get us a Grammy man. We need one. Off season, we're homework, right? Real quick.
No doubt. All right, so with the Olympic Team Canada, Olympic qualifiers.
Yes.
Drew, give us your insight in regards to this. That's coming up in June.
Drew, what's your thoughts on Team Canada? First of all, I actually looked it up. FIBA has us ranked for the men 21st.
Yes.
Women is ranked 4th. But our women's team only have 3 WNBA players. Why is there a huge disparity on the relative talent on the global scale for the men's and the women's? Like, I don't get it. I don't.
That's an incredible question. It's crazy when you look at that and you say, wow, how could that be? But you got to remember, the WNBA, there's only 144 spots. All right. The NBA, there's about 500 spots. So technically speaking, the WNBA is probably the most difficult professional league to make in the world. So we've got 3, I think at one point we may have had 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I think we're 4 right now. We're 4 today. Yeah.
Yeah. And Aislinn Koenig was trying out as well. So no, it's what it is too, Nelly, is the Canadian women that are playing overseas are deep. A lot of Canadian women playing in the professional leagues overseas. And so that talent and that experience, usually they come back and play for Canada and they kill it. So I've always said this, the women's national team has been carrying the Canadian mantle for the past, 10, 15 years, because the men's haven't made the Olympics since 2000. And that's 21 years, and that was in Sydney.
I remember that year
when they were just a shade away from making the semifinals, which would have, they could have medaled if they had beaten France. I mean, I remember listening to that game and just like my heart was broken. Rowan Barrett's like one of my guys from high school, and we're very good friends with our families and everything. And I've met, Steve Nash, obviously. Sherman Hamilton, grew up with him, Shermy, and, all those guys on the team. Like I can't even believe it, guys. It's been 21 years. But yeah, Canada's ranked 21st. That it seems forever we've been ranked 21st. And the problem there is, obviously not making the Olympics, getting the results on the senior men's side. There's always been an obstacle. Even the recent World Championships, the way they positioned it, and the time that FIBA had the tournament, it was very difficult for all our Canadian pros to make it. But I think going forward, we're going to have a situation where NBA guys are going to get cut from the team, and hopefully this, in Victoria, end of June, they have enough of the NBA guys to come on in. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't think he may play because he's got plantar fasciitis right now. Jamal Murray, of course, we know is injured, but he probably would have had a long playoff run anyways. Right. So hopefully they're going to get all the big guns, and especially the vets. You need vets. You got to have the Corey Josephs, probably the Tristan Thompson still, and then you mix in the RJ Barretts. You mix in the young guys, maybe even a Luguentz Dort coming in to bring that defense. Maybe a Dwight Powell, from Dallas, coming back from Achilles injury. You got to mix it up. You got to have shooting as well. So yeah, man. Last year I was supposed to be in Victoria for it. It was supposed to be last summer.
Yeah,
obviously.
last summer. Yeah.
Yeah. This summer, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it this time, but I'm going to be watching online, obviously, and rooting for Canada. We almost, guys, we have to make the Olympics here.
We have to.
21 years.
Come on, we have to make it. And what's worse was that we haven't won a medal since I think
No,
1936, guys. 36.
Yeah.
Like that's ancient times, yo. 36.
You really did your research,
guys. That's a long time for the men. But no, so what I heard was that only 5 players from the NBA said that they want to come back or play verbally, and that's like you said, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Ken Birch, and Dort, right? Those for sure. Those 5 said yes. But hey, Nickel, Brandon Clark, Dwight Powell, Tristan Thompson, we're not sure yet. They haven't said it verbally yet.
Committed, right?
They haven't committed yet, but I mean, I really hope they do, because our team can do better than 21. Like, there's no excuse. We have 17 players in the NBA. Andrew Wiggins, bro, like, no excuse. Play for the damn team.
if the NBA didn't have so much Canadian players, then maybe it wouldn't be so disparaging to say, but just the fact, I think, what are we, second most outside the United States in regards to?
Yes, we are. Yes, we've been like that for the last little while.
So once we're getting these players reaching these heights, it almost is not making sense of why we can't get these guys to play for the country. Here's the thing, maybe 20 years ago, because we've always had this thing in regards to Team Canada, in regards to players wanting to play. It's nothing new, but I figure now the climate's in where you maybe have these, put it this way, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, you might have a handful, maybe 2, 3, like really star players playing with others who maybe haven't reached those heights. So maybe for them, they say, okay, you know what, maybe we don't have the talent, or whatever the reasoning is for not playing. Nowadays, I find it hard to believe that if you're Canadian in the league and you know the other Canadians that are in there, you know the kind of talent and potential that you have, I don't understand why we still have that Canadian stigmatism of say, like, I don't know if I want to represent my country, There's
a lot of factors there as well, Faheem. I mean, contract status, where are they going to be? Are they up for a contract this year? They may not want to get hurt, risk that. Again, the timing, FIBA, to me, is not doing Canada and even the US a service at all for when they're placing these events. Because look, this takes place at the end of June. The playoffs are still going to be going. So why would they put this tournament where teams could possibly, miss, be in the playoffs, and then their players can't play? Are they trying to make sure the US doesn't do as good, or maybe even a country like Canada with so much talent, but we need to see them perform? But this event is not going to be easy. I mean, you're talking 6 teams for the FIBA qualifying, Olympic qualifying. Only the winner, there's I think 3 other qualifying tournaments going on throughout the world. Only the winner is going to go through. And you look at the Nike World Rankings, guys. Canada's not at the top of with the 6 there. Greece is number 6 in the world. Czech Republic is 12th. Turkey's 15th. So Canada falls on the bottom half of the rankings. They're at 21, as Nelly mentioned. China 29th, and Uruguay 45th. So even when you look at it, there's 6 top 50 teams in the world, and you have to win to qualify. We need all the help we can get. Maybe we gotta suit up for them, guys.
Shoot. I can't suit up, but I'll cheer or put some incense, in the gym, like a Kyrie.
Like Kyrie, yeah.
What's a Kyrie with some incense, but
sage,
yeah, like.
But of all the countries you've mentioned, when I think of NBA representation, I'm not, like you mentioned Greece. Okay, yeah, Giannis and his brother, and like China.
The brothers.
Sorry,
the brothers. Yeah, multiple.
Who else? You mentioned China.
China's had a history, with Yao Ming, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, currently, right now,
nothing really.
Nothing really. Like everything you've mentioned, all the Uruguay. I don't know anyone
No.
We should be able, from what's available left, for anyone who's not going for the championship right now, to come and play for the country and get them in. That's what I'd hope.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's something that has to happen. You gotta have, your best who are available to play. And like I said, Greece, even if they reach the final of the qualifying tournament and have to play Greece, that's not going to be easy. Czech Republic, not going to be easy. Even a Turkey. I mean, the good thing, though, we have going for us is it's in Canada. And so that's where we have an advantage. More times when we've been playing in these tournaments, South America, they're throwing coins at people. They're throwing, they're blazing up, smoke bombs and all that stuff.
Right.
This time it's in Canada. Now, obviously with Corona, we're not even going to have that home court advantage. Do you know what I mean? So everything just, man, it's going against us, but I keep my fingers crossed. We can lock down on defense and really show our talent. And these young guys, it's time to prove what you can do.
And just to add to what both of you guys said, for FYI, there's actually 19 Canadians playing in the G League. So I'm hoping a few of them, because that ended like a month ago. Hopefully a few of them will play for Team Canada as well, because there's a lot. So 19 in the G League, 17 in the NBA. Come on, guys. We have
plus
to this tournament.
Nelly, we've got so much pros. We have so many pros playing overseas as well, and that's what they do to qualify for this and the AmeriCup tournament. Canada just intersperses and and makes it interchangeable with all the players to make us qualify. And so we have a good talent pool. It's time. We got to get it done. Bottom line, we got to win. It's in Canada. There's no more excuses.
Well, also on the way out, as someone mentioned, Chris Boucher. That's a Canadian that
love him.
Yes, he's. I think it's a right knee or left knee. What's the injury for him? Do you know?
Yeah, he came back. He came back, but yeah, he was. He did get injured quite a bit.
Playing for the national team that's a name that no one seems to really bring up after this season. Hopefully, he'll be on the radar now. Where
he's another one.
Yeah, another one. Definitely.
Good point for him.
Definitely.
We didn't really mention his name before, but remember, Chris Boucher was the first and only player in G League history to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. And we've seen the potential of this young man, and he puts in the work. And that's after coming after a torn ACL back in Oregon, and the work he's put in, the dedication. One of my favorite guys that, I get a chance to say what's up to him when he's in the city, last year during the season quite a bit. And we were part of his birthday celebration here in downtown Toronto. So we just love the kid. He just works hard. And I told people before the season, this year, Chris Boucher was going to have a breakup season.
Oh, you called it. Okay.
You called it, and he did. I was so happy for him. Very happy for him.
Love the kid, man. He just puts in the work. And if you know his story, I mean, he just came from pretty much nothing to, being this player. And then he's got a basketball program in Montreal. We're going to look to hopefully be able to work with them. And so he's providing opportunities, for kids coming up in basketball in the Montreal area. Same with Lugens Dort. His influence from Montreal basketball is incredible. So we actually have a piece coming out. Actually, I was supposed to edit that. I totally forgot. We have a piece coming out on Montreal basketball with my good friend Dwight Walton. He played on the national team as well. He's based a broadcaster and coach out in Montreal. So we got some great words for him. So look for that on onpointbasketball.com, our piece on the success and the growth of basketball in Montreal.
Nice. We're going to keep that energy with that, like you said, onpointbasketball.com. We're going to give you your flowers right now, my friend. Nelly J, let's go to For the Culture.
For the culture, we like to highlight individuals for the culture, and today we got to highlight Mr. Drew Ebanks, okay? This man is busy. You know what's so real busy? He is beyond busy. He has Onpoint Basketball, Onpoint Events, Onpoint Apparel. You understand? He's also having a showcase this weekend for National Hoop Showcase, also known as Show and Prove, taking place Victoria Day weekend from Friday to Monday. On top of that, what he provides as a service, they got marketing promotion, MC services, apparel for high school reps and clubs, social media training. Guys, the man is busy, okay? As well as he does mixtapes. Like, what else do you want from Drew Ebanks? So, Drew, we got to give you your flowers today. And, I remember when I met you a decade ago, and I'm like, this guy is like doing interviews. And I'm like, okay. And back then I was like, no one's doing this. So I want to know, Drew, because, you saw a gap in Canada, right? TSN, Sportsnet, we have all our sports channels, but there's a huge gap for the culture, people like us, as well as for the Canadian media. And you saw that gap and you decided to dedicate your life to fill that gap for the culture. And I want to know why. Why do it? And also, I want to know on top of that, at the beginning of your journey of Onpoint, how hard was it? Because I think people always see, oh, he's so happy, he's so, you know, he's doing great now, but I'm sure it was also a process to get to where you are today.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much, Nelly. Appreciate that. Sometimes when you list all those things, I don't know how have done it. I mean, I've had a great team. The community supports. You forgot one thing. We got Onpoint Soccer as well.
Okay, Onpoint Soccer, add to the list.
Add to the list. And we just got our NCAA certification for our scouting service. So that is, we're doing all this stuff.
Hello. Busy, Mr. Busy.
Man, you make some great points. There was a gap. We had so much success, and we had so many kids that were going to the States and that were playing, girls and guys, that were having success, and nobody was really talking about it. The mainstream media, I was working for Global Television at the time. And I noticed, you know, we didn't have any stories. I was able to get at least one high school basketball story up on Global Television. And that was Ryan Wright. He's a pro. I think he's still playing pro right now. So yeah, it was about nine years ago. August will be our 9th year for Onpoint. I just kind of saw the gap. I saw that these stories weren't being told. I saw that there was a guy that was producing, somebody was producing these great Canada basketball commercials. And I was like, man, like I edited and shot myself, but not to that level. And I was like, I need to find out who that person is. We need to work together. And so I seeked him out. I saw him at a Canada basketball tryout or practice event. His name was Jay Irving. And I went up to him. I said, I have this idea, like, you know, we can do these mini doc style videos on Canadian basketball, like the Wiggins, the Tyler Ennis, the Anthony Bennett, and you know, you go to Kevin Pangos, who's making like $1 million plus over in Europe right now, to see where he's gone as a 6-foot point guard is incredible. So we covered all these kids, and you know, Jay believed in my vision. We stayed together for a year doing that. It was fantastic. We got our episodes on NBA TV Canada, about 6 of them during March Madness. I thought from there we would have got the jump. I was disappointed they didn't come back to us saying, hey, we really need to get you guys solidified and make this a regular thing. That was a bit frustrating. To hit that wall after we had so many people from the community seeing our content on NBA TV Canada and like really feeling like, man, one of us have made it up there. Unfortunately, the networks weren't ready for us at that point. So we just had to double back. I mean, I lost Jay because he moved on. So I had to bring on new videographers. But basically what I did is I just stayed relevant. I kept going to the events. I kept featuring the kids. You know, we had our website. We were writing articles on them. And so we just had to stay relevant. And yeah, it's been tough. It's still tough right now, you know, but we have a lot of things cooking right now. We've used this pandemic to really refocus. We redesigned our website. It's easier to navigate now. Our services are fully clear on there because I really didn't do this to make money. I did this.
Yeah, it's your passion.
It is my passion.
I can tell. Like you love what you do.
Yeah, I wanted to give these kids the opportunity that I never had and be that conduit for it. You know, so right now, I'll never regret anything we've done. It's been ups and some small downs, but really it's just been a nice slow. And I tell young people, a lot of them that come to work with Onpoint or they want to make, you know, have these big things, they kind of are like this. They want to go like this.
Yeah,
and I always tell them it's like this. This is how it's got to go. If you go like this, you know, you're the only way to come from there, you're falling.
Right back.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, I just grinded away, building our team now. We're bringing in interns. We've got people that are really enthusiastic about what they see now with Onpoint Basketball, and people seem to be finding us nowadays. Like they're reaching out, and some real talented young people who are into marketing, into analytics, social media. You know, a lot of times people think, a couple of things people think with me. They think that I do Onpoint full time, which I don't. I've been working for TD in the wealth management area for 25
busy.
I'm doing that. Yeah. And they think I'm some kind of master marketer. I mean, all I've done is just try to be consistent, guys, with the content, and continually just be there for the community, be right down the middle. I don't try to show favorites. I love all the kids. That's 1,000%. But as far as the programs and the schools, I try to go to different schools and programs. I just stayed on the middle, support everybody. And I think that's kind of where people trust us now. And we've seen a real shift where before people wanted Onpoint there as a media outlet to kind of cover the event, shine light. Now, people are reaching out to us to partner in ventures, to partner in events. And so that's where I know what we've done, the respect level. It takes time for people to recognize what you do and what you're about. But once you get that respect level, the floodgates kind of just open up, which is
what
incredible.
I do like is that just because you're going on to prove this, that just because you started somewhere doesn't mean you have to end there. Like a lot of times someone might have an idea, but life throws, a wrench in there, and it's about how you can maneuver and pivot to get to where you want to be. The reason why I'm kind of mentioning that is in regards to time frame, are we talking about 10, 15? You've been at it for a minute. Like,
You said
Oh yeah,
9 years.
Onpoint's 9 years, but I was doing Crown Magazine. I did NBL Canada when we started the Pro League, the original Pro League before the CBL. I was the director of communications for the Oshawa franchise, but we basically were a part to build that league up and do social media for them. And before that, I was always involved in hoops, played it. Like I said, 1 year at York, and my brother and my family all played in the States. So just being immersed since I left high school. So when I played at York for a year, and unfortunately we had to help with a family business. So I wasn't able to continue my playing career, but I definitely knew I wanted to be involved in broadcasting and media. Looked up to guys like Paul Jones, Mark Jones, David Amber, and John Saunders, and I looked up to those guys, and I wanted to kind of emulate what they did. So I went back and I took a Seneca program, a broadcasting, radio and television at Seneca at York. And it was incredible because I was working at the bank at the same time, and they actually were so cool to let me go back to school for something totally unrelated to banking. I don't know if you could do that now. I don't know.
Now I think they pay for you if it's like relative to your job, but not if it's like a complete vertical, different
different field altogether.
Different field, yeah.
I was so I would go to class, and then when I would finish a morning class, I would go to the bank, or I would work at the bank on weekends to fill the time up. And I was able to do the broadcasting program, and I was working for Global for a while, but I really wanted to showcase basketball. Global was great, gave me a lot of experience. We cut highlight packs and interviewed people, and I actually got on air there, but I wanted to bring basketball up because hockey was already there. All these other sports really, I love football as well. I love soccer, but basketball was where I felt Canada needed more people to kind of know what was going on.
So here's what's great about you going back to school and just learning new trades and new things, because say like 10 years ago when you started, in regards to content, especially online, like there wasn't a lot of for the up and coming players and things like that, there wasn't a ton of content. Here we are now 10 years later, and we're flooded with content because people can just go to a hoop, film themselves, upload on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that middle position that's kind of cut out, direct to consumer. How are you finding in regards to the quality that's going out of the stuff that's coming out in comparison to when you might have started and had to put in that work, to what people who are just, cutting out the middleman, going straight through? What's your take in regards to, are they losing in regards to quality, or like, what's your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, Faheem. I mean, it's changed. I mean, I'm an old school person, right? We're from that generation where you watched like documentaries and you watched, 10, 15 minute. We used to do 10, 15, 20-minute pieces for On Point. Like if you go back on our YouTube page, you'll see, you know, the Jordan Brand game, and it's a 20-minute piece with Jabari Parker and Aaron Gordon and Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Ennis, and it's 20 minutes. Nowadays, they say what your attention span is 3 seconds. I think that's what they were telling us.
1.5.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's a huge adjustment to be like, I'm a person who I love that long form content, but long form content now, who's going to watch it? You know, you could check the stats on our YouTube videos. If they're longer than a minute, you might get, you know, 30% that view the whole video or 20% that view the whole video. Most people drop off after 30 seconds. So we've kind of had to change a bit. Even in our Instagram, we find it's the technology. So it's the algorithms, right? And I tell people this all the time. What you got to do now is your IG Reels is where everything's at. So
yes,
you only need 15 to 30 seconds, and your IG Reels can get up, you know, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15,000 views. Right. So in a way, it's more difficult for us to kind of adapt, but in a way it's like, you know what, this is actually pretty easy. All I got to do is put together a 15 to 30 second video and I can get 10,000 views. I mean, I can go to a sponsor and say, hey, if I put up a video here, you're going to get thousands of views guaranteed. So in a way it's like, now, okay, but you gotta figure it out. Yeah. Right. So once you figure out the formula, which is what we're still learning, because we're coming from the old style of media and content, and hey, my name is so-and-so, and now it's just boom, just throw it up there, and it doesn't need an intro, and it doesn't need nothing. Just put the video up there, and they want to see it.
Right.
No.
Right.
Well, awesome. Well, Drew, honestly, we're so happy you're on the podcast. You're for the culture. You've been for the culture. Folks, check out www.onpointbasketball.com. Get familiar. I actually was going to your shop today, but I couldn't buy anything yet, Drew. So hopefully,
we gotta get that back.
Get that back up. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, make sure you shop. You guys support our own, because you were someone that I think you put in so much time and effort for us. And because of what you did, there's podcasts popping up. There's people doing different things because you started this entire idea of, hey guys, I know we don't have it in Canada yet, but if you keep at it and you work hard, make a difference. So we appreciate you for that, for sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
Thank you, guys. I can't believe we're done already. I mean,
no, we're not done yet. One more segment.
Please, we have the most exciting part. Our segment called That's Absurd.
That's absurd for him, bro. What was absurd this week? What was absurd?
You've heard the term putting the house down on it. Well, this particular man put literally put the house down on it. The man tweeted out to Dame Lillard about losing his house pretty much if he doesn't get to the playoffs.
Actually it was 42 games. He's like,
42
Dame
games was the number.
So he was like, Dame, like, how you feeling, bro? Like, how's your leg? Because I need you to win 42 games this year or else I lose my house.
Wow.
Drew, that's
absurd.
Drew, what's your thoughts on this fan who don't know Dame from nobody to put this pressure on him? Like, your thoughts on this?
I mean, it takes all kinds nowadays. I mean, people want attention, even when they don't deserve attention. And it's the world we live in, guys. I mean, I like I said, it's such a battle for me because I have a certain, way I go about things, what I think is, right, respectful, and, respects the culture when it comes to hoops and whatnot. But nowadays, it's almost like anything goes, and people just want their 5 minutes of fame. Here we are, all of us, we're putting in work to kind of build, to get to a point. And there are people that'll put up a video, and all of a sudden, that video hits 100 million views and they're bringing in $100,000 from YouTube, you know what I mean? Or whatever the ratio is. It's just a different world, and it's adapting. Like, we all have to adapt. And if you don't adapt, and if I was like, for On Point, if I was like, man, I know what I'm doing. I'm on point. No, guess what I do, guys? I bring in the young people, the 20-year-olds, the 21-year-olds. I say, guys, how do we grow on point? What do you guys see? And how do we, resonate with the young people? And that's how you got to be. You can't be in this silo thinking you're going to be able to, be on top all the time. You better adapt or else you're going to fall to the wayside.
No, well, it's so true. And that's why, like, for me, I think it's funny that, especially now with betting, right? People bet many things. I saw one guy, I think he bet like $500, won 50,000. Like,
right.
Betting is, and I think betting has really changed the sports environment to a point where, and a question for you, Drew, do you think that these fans, for example, back in the day, no fan would ever ask Jordan, yo, bro, do this or what? Like the fans today have so much audacity. Okay. It's like the audacity is on cap, right? Do you think gambling and betting has created this detachment of fans to athletes to a point where, damn, I don't really care about you and your wife or your kid, but just win these games for me, please. Like, I feel like fans today don't really respect players emotionally as before. Now it's all about my betting, my card, I got to win this game. Thoughts on how gambling has changed fans towards athletes?
Well, it's obviously changed because it's more mainstream now. And so you have a lot of, the different gambling. I forgot what they call it, but you can, even in like a Super Bowl, you can, gamble on, who gets the first kickoff or who has the first punt on the team. Like so many props, right? I believe that's what it's called. Right. It's becoming more mainstream. The NBA has always had a little bit of a love-hate with the gambling. They didn't want that to creep in. And then you look at what happened with the referees, Tim Donahue and all those guys. So there's still some tiptoeing around, but let's face it, it's going to be a part of it. I also think the next wave, as far as the sports world and even real life, is the NFTs, guys. And the fact that now, your likeness or a video clip of 20 seconds of LeBron throwing down could be worth $5 million through the crypto market and all that. And so now teams you see are signing up with these crypto companies to offer those to their fans. So I even have to kind of think of that even now with the NCAA giving the NIL, so names, image, and likeness rights back to players to where they can sell themselves now. Maybe even in the high school level, guys, with the circuits we do, maybe we can bring in and have NFTs, and then part of that revenue goes to us, but part of it goes to the kids. So now you have another avenue. It's not betting, but it's still kind of like, hey, somebody's putting up
bidding.
Essentially somebody's putting money to bet, and maybe they want to flip that NFT. So say we have an Elijah Fisher great dunk, and we are able to turn that into an NFT, and in 3 years we put that NFT out when Elijah Fisher's an all-star in the NBA. Could you imagine the implications of that going forward, as far as making sure you have that content and keeping that, or maybe putting it out when you can? I think it's so limitless right now, and creators like yourself, creators like us, we can do it now. We don't need a big television network. We don't need a whole lot of money. If we make content that people resonate with, brands are going to come on board, and things like NFTs are going to be possibilities. So I'm so excited. Like I said, it's sometimes it's daunting because you're like, oh, this new social media app, TikTok, this and that. How do we stay relevant? Bring on people that will help you and that are younger, that'll help you relate to the new technologies. That's my advice.
Good point. Good point. So one last thing in regards to the Dame situation, as you mentioned, is 42 wins. They got to 42 wins. So the man.
Did he keep his house or what?
He gets his house.
And mind you, so let me give a direct tweet here. He says, Dame, how's the hamstring? I need you guys to win 42 games this year or I lose my house. Huge fan, even if I'm in the mansion or homeless. So
that's commitment.
That's a real commitment, boy.
So sports I guess fans are crazy, man. Sports fans, you guys know.
Yo, sports fans,
in America, like no, the whole life, a lot of these people are about sports.
Yeah, sports and gambling, I think, is both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both
Yeah.
because if you're a gambling addict and you love sports, like what a monster that you've
Right.
created. Like
Yeah.
real
My
talk.
goodness.
So
It's
then-
like
Absurd.
in Europe, yeah, it's like in Europe with soccer, football. You know, the same thing. Like it is a religion. It's not, you know, even compared to our fans in North America. Like for soccer, it's next level.
Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah. Well, so shout out to Dame Dollar. He keeps the mansion. And,
Dame.
Damn.
Got to give him some props on his rap skills, though, man. He got some bars there, man.
He's
Yo,
bitter.
he's
Throw it
really
down.
good. He's talented.
True,
We got.
yeah.
I feel like now, like we're living in a world where NBA players can rap and rappers can play basketball in pro leagues. J. Cole. So
J. Cole.
hey, who would have thought? Who would have thought, right?
He scored what? How many points did he score in that game? Was it the
threes.
one bucket?
No, if they have,
Three.
yeah, the 3 points the first game. 3 points the first game. Yeah.
You know what? He released an album the same weekend. I mean, just
Hey.
talk about smarts. These guys know now. They understand
Mhm.
now.
So
They
smart.
understand.
So
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I haven't taken the album. I took in the album. It's pretty fire. It's to be expected.
I heard.
Yeah, J. Cole. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be lit.
I'm an old school guy, but you know, guys like him, J. Cole, Kendrick, trying to think who else, like of these young guys, the lyricists. That's because I'm 90s hip hop. So, you know, all the lyricists I grew up on, I want to see that remain in the hip hop game. And so for a guy like Cole, I love listening to his music. You know, I'm hoping Kendrick is going to come out and drop something.
Yo, I love
If you
some
haven't
Kendrick.
If you haven't heard one of his older albums yet, Section 80, go back and listen to
Right.
Section 80.
Right.
That thing is it was about, you know, the Reagan era and just like thought-provoking, just like so deep, man. I love
Right.
that.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That's Absol and Schoolboy Q, Black
Schoolboy, yeah.
Yep, no
Yeah,
doubt.
he's one of the guys that, you know, you have to respect for the young guys
Mhm.
right now, for sure.
All right, so let's throw this episode in the books. That's episode 40.
Episode 40. So Drew, we love to give our guests a chance to do a shout out. So the floor is yours.
Man, I want to shout you guys out first of all because you know, nothing is too small. As you said, Nelly, start somewhere, keep plugging away. You know, you may not have all the followers that you want to have yet, but it's more than that. It's about doing something good, doing something you believe in. And I'm telling you, once you can do it, people will come and
Right.
opportunities will come. So that's my lesson to the young people out there. Like, you know, you're not going to get it overnight. Nothing that's worth it is going to happen overnight. You're going to have to put in hours. You're going to have to put in days. You're going to have to put in weeks. You're going to have to put in months. You're going to have to put in years. And then when you finally get there, you're going to look back and say, man, that was great.
No, man, we appreciate you, man. Like, honestly, we'll talk. And my shout out today, y'all, is for Mr. Drew Onpoint Basketball, okay? Because you're Mr. Busy. Like,
We got to get you some gear. We got to get you guys
yes,
some gear.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
like, no, real talk. I'm like, oh, I should buy some Onpoint gear. Cause I like I go on the site. I'm like, oh, shop not open yet. So yeah,
Not
let us
yet.
know. Let us
We
know when
have
it's
it.
open.
We do sell like if
Okay.
you order it or hit us up. But really, I want to get somebody managing our merchandise because I'll tell you, it is a business on itself. You
Right.
you can't do all the things I'm doing and trying to go to the events and then also try to run the store. Like, oh
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there and has experience in that, and you know, I do have a merch guy, but we could use somebody to come in and just kind of manage that part of it.
Look
Man,
at this
just
job
hit us up.
offer. Job
Yeah.
offer, y'all. Look at that.
Job
Upon
offers.
the Good Rookies podcast, right? Job offers. So
Job
no,
offer,
honestly,
there it
Drew,
is.
like, thank you for being here. We truly appreciate it. We're humbled and we wish you nothing but the best. Again, folks, go to his website, www.onpointbasketball.com. Faheem.
That's right. Yo, my shout out's simple. Once again, hit him back. Drew, like familiar with On Point from way back. And when you were out, there wasn't anyone else doing what you were doing. So I recognized the brand as just being ahead of the game for sure. So it's great to see that the brand is still going, still strong, and pivoting and prospering. So Enough respect. All right.
Thank you, boss. Yeah, we're not where we want to be yet, but we're on our way. And you make a great point. And I tell people, don't think one step ahead. Don't think 2 steps ahead. Think 3 steps ahead. So when something hits you, you're ready to pivot. You're ready to adapt. And you're ready to take things to the next level. So thanks for having me, guys. Anytime you want me on, I'm loving it. And, looking forward to doing more things together.
No, for sure, y'all. Guys, that was episode 40, yo. So as you already know, if you had a good time, you had a real good session with us, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Faheem.
That's right. You know where to find us. We're out there wherever you want to check us out. We're there for you. That's Good Rookies Podcast, episode 40. And we out. Peace.